Huge Doctor Strange spoilers ahead.
Also, like, counterpoint to Wanda's whole deal, those kids suck. They're super boring. Their ice cream song was terrible.
Can I say
why would you
Yes.
why would you sacrifice the multiverse for those lame kids? Just get different kids. I'm sure you could find better ones literally anywhere. Like, go to a junkyard, get a dog. I don't give a crap. Just go anywhere and get different kids.
Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness is here, and we watched it. Was it good? Was it weird? Was it nuts? Maybe. Watch the video to find out what we thought. I'm just curious to know what my friends Tom and Nina think of this movie. I have my own thoughts. I'll save them for the end because I know that everyone really wants to know. But Tom, let's start with you. What were your thoughts about this movie? What's your reaction? How'd you feel?
Once I kind of figured out what it was, it took me a minute because I think tonally it was a lot different than, which is what's going to happen if you bring in a really singular director like Sam Raimi. Mm-hmm. Right. And once I figured out that, this is pulp. He's making a pulp comic book story. Yeah. I had a very nice time.
Yeah. I feel like I was on board with that very quickly, that idea, where it was just kind of like right out of the gate, I was just kind of like, oh, this is crazy. And once I just said, this is crazy, all I'm going to get is crazy. Let's enjoy the crazy. I was not even remotely disappointed. Not at all.
Yeah.
I have more thoughts than that, but that's good. And did you want to say anything else about it before we flip to Nina?
Normally the fan service stuff kind of makes me roll my eyes, but it all worked for me.
Nothing but this time.
The fact that there was so much of it, and it was fine. I love that they took Anson Mount and they were like, you know what, this is our sick. We're going to sit in it, and they acknowledged that this happened.
Anson Mount playing Black Bolt in one of the movie's many comic book and obscure Marvel cinematic character cameos. We'll say, okay, yeah, all right, Nina. I'd like to know what you have to say about this movie, and I'm just getting ready.
Okay, I'm really glad there's a train going by right as you ask me what I think about this movie. I took a couple of notes on my phone during the movie because there was no one in my theater, so nobody cared what I did. And I'm going to get to some of those because there's one point from the very beginning of the movie that I feel that I'm the only one qualified to address, and I'm going to circle back to that. But look, I had a good time with the style of this movie. The direction was really cool. A lot of the scenes are really cool. However, the Wanda arc of this movie made me want to break a bottle and eat the whole thing while I watched. Just eat all of that glass and just sit there gnawing on it while I watched this character whose psyche we have delved into so deeply in WandaVision just go, I want to be a mom. I literally wrote, the villain of this movie is hysterical pregnancy. That's the villain of this movie, is a woman who thinks she's pregnant and isn't. And so, everybody's like, I don't know, Wanda, why don't you do anything slightly differently? And she's just like, no, my kids. That's her whole character distilled to one trait, and it sucks, and it's gross, and I hate it. And Elizabeth Olsen was not even doing a great job with the material because she was given, frankly, so little to work with.
Oh, I disagree. I don't agree on that.
I think she did the best that she could. I guess I'm just like, she was given way less than she's been given previously.
I think Nina, she had a really...
You've never seen a...
Go ahead, Tom.
You've never seen an Evil Dead movie? Didn't you say that the other day?
I did. Are all the villains hysterical pregnancies?
No.
Yeah, no, that was going to be my point. It did feel, and I don't know if this is a defense or what, but it did feel a lot more like she was playing a Sam Raimi villain.
I was going to say,
stylistically,
she's an insane bad guy. Because
I guess I just wish that it had not been connected specifically to I'm a mom. If she had just been deranged, I would have been like, cool, she's deranged. But the fact that it was directly tied to a specifically female experience, I was like, I don't like this. And also those kids were
50 years of comics you're going to hate.
Oh, I'm sure. Also, counterpoint to Wanda's whole deal, those kids suck. They're super boring. Their ice cream song was terrible.
Can I say
why would you why would you
Yes.
sacrifice the multiverse for those lame kids? Just get different kids. I'm sure you could find better ones literally anywhere. Go to a junkyard, get a dog. I don't give a crap. Just go anywhere and get different kids.
when those kids were like, I'm sitting in the theater and those kids were like, Mom, come here. We have something to show you.
We have something super important to show you. You're a parent. I'm sure you were like, it's going to suck.
In my head, I'm like, they're going to throw human feces at her. They're going to like have their butts out. Yeah. Like, I'm thinking back to my parenting experience, like something awful's about to happen. And then they sing an ice cream song.
We've got the worst song of all time. Do you want to hear it?
Those kids ain't real. They're not real in any universe.
By comparison, we now know that like Franklin Richards exists in this universe, and he's out here like building his own worlds with his mind. Yeah. And then this lady's like, no, but you know, it's worth saving.
These two idiot children.
Ice cream boys.
We're gonna circle back to a bunch of the other stuff I think that I want to talk about, including Chekhov's Zombie. But that
was great.
No, I liked it. I liked that. But there's just one.
Let's circle back to that.
Wait, just really quickly. There's a point that I really need to make. The most egregious part of this movie, I'm not even going to say worst, is in the first, I'm going to say 15 minutes, where a character drinks red wine while wearing a long-sleeved, trumpet-sleeved wedding gown. What deranged psychopath is like, I'm going to wear something that I can dip into any sauce or liquid, any element that will stain this. I'm going to drink red wine.
Counterpoint.
Unhinged. What kind of lunatic? Go on. We can talk about something else.
My counterpoint was that
to the wedding dress thing.
Yeah, she
drink
invited
champagne, you idiot.
She invited Doctor Strange. I think he could probably get a stain out of her sleeve if she asked.
But he wouldn't because he's kind of a jerk.
That's not.
He'd be like, "You're marrying someone else. You can walk around with a stain."
This is awesome.
No, it isn't. Can you change the subject?
No, it is. No, it really. All of this is awesome. So, like, as far as Wanda's character arc is concerned, I can't disagree at all. That's probably my least favorite part of this movie.
It's like the only thing I didn't like. I had a really good time. I just really didn't like that.
Not even the fact that the villain was this, like, a character who did all these things, with the exception of being obsessed with motherhood. That's, to me, like, again, like, so I'm getting ahead of myself. I think that everything worked really well, but the fact that it was Wanda, a character that we've seen have this great arc and have a redemption of sorts at the end of WandaVision, you're really hoping, okay, she's going to repent, things are going to go up, things are going to happen. And then in this, it's like, no, I'm full-blown evil. I've been reading
kind of felt like WandaVision didn't happen. Yeah. It kind of just erased it a little bit.
Tom,
go on.
What's up?
What was her redemption at the end of WandaVision?
Well, just that she let everyone go. She took care of the villain.
That's not a redemption. If you kidnap 1,000 people and then they're not kidnapped anymore, that doesn't make you redeemed. That makes you a person
Fair enough.
No longer had. For me personally, that's bothered me about WandaVision since the finale came out.
I'm going to agree with Tom on that.
Didn't you think at the end of that she was going to start doing better? Like, what? That was what I got.
No. I didn't necessarily think that she was going to start doing worse. Like that was an exciting weird twist for me, and I agree. Like it doesn't necessarily 100% work, but like she found out that she had magic powers that could enslave a lot of people, and then she left to go get better at those.
So, I'm going to agree that I don't think she was redeeming herself at the end of WandaVision, but I think the problem that I had with this version of Wanda is that she was so flattened to one thing. It's just my kids. That's it. Like she had
She didn't talk about her brother. She didn't talk about her husband. Her vision.
Come on,
she didn't
man.
talk about.
She talked about Vision for 1 second,
that got destroyed.
And then she was like, "Forget Vision. I don't care." Kids.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing.
It flattened her out in a way I did not like.
That's a really good point.
As a not a defense, but an explanation at least. It is one of the main points of her character at a certain point in the comics. That doesn't make it good though, because there's a lot of stuff from the comics that, hey, you don't need to adapt that much.
Right.
I think overall for me, like I was saying before, once I kind of embraced that this was a campy, pulpy, this is the craziest comic book movie I've ever seen. It was insane. It was
so funky.
It was so weird.
Crazy. And I think that I really also liked a lot of the horror elements being in there. It made for a really fun experience. But as a fan of movies with good stories and characters who do things that make sense, this one didn't really do it for me, because just like a horror movie, it has a lot of characters doing dumb things because the plot or moment needs them to, such as when they're all running away from Wanda under the tunnel.
That was so weird.
doors down,
Yeah.
and then they put one down, and then she's not coming, and then they stand there and wait.
Why? Keep moving.
Maybe
So
keep
they
running.
can get chased some more.
Right.
Yeah.
Or like when Doctor Strange inadvertently tells Wanda where America is. And then they go back to Kamartaj, and he's like, she's coming. And they're like, well, we have to really defend this place.
I have a question about that.
Why not just leave? Nina, go on.
Leaving's good.
What's the stronghold called? The magic stronghold, what's it called?
Kamartaj?
Kamartaj. Why is it just populated by a bunch of wizard Legolases? Like it's like 4 dudes with shields, and then it's a bunch of bows and arrows. I'm genuinely asking, like, what are they shooting?
You know,
they're
speaking for
shooting, like-
myself,
Yeah. Go on.
generally not a gun guy, but like
Maybe get a
within the
gun.
bounds of the story, it felt
Yeah.
like guns were the right option.
Magic
Like,
guns
as compared
would have
to longbows.
Yeah,
They did have a cannon.
it
They
didn't do
did,
much.
Yeah, just like on pirate ships. That was
So
cool.
the whole thing, I mean, that's the thing, right? Like when you look at this movie from the outside, all the things in it look cool, feel cool, are cool.
Gorgeous.
Not all of it makes sense.
It looked
and that's really
stunning,
just what
yeah.
it comes down to.
Because it's
And so
pulpy.
and so I'm fine with that in a movie with a like, do I care a lot about Doctor Strange as a character or a franchise? No. So if this is what I'm gonna see, then great. I'm ready for it. I really enjoyed this movie overall because it was bonkers. It was crazy. It had, Chekhov's zombie. That was actually one of the things I wanted to talk about. I'm really glad that you brought that up before, Nina. Because I was thinking as I was watching, when you have characters like these who can do anything that they need to when the plot needs them to, like we have in our Doctor Strange episode of Okay, so basically, available now on Snapchat, YouTube, and Facebook.
I should like and subscribe to that.
You should like and subscribe. It's really fun.
I already did.
That's the
It
thing.
improved my life.
They can do anything that they need to.
gout
Like
anymore?
any magic spell that you can think of, they can do. So it kind of makes you wonder, what are the limits of their power at any given moment? Like, how are they going to get out of this thing other than summon another cartoon?
I did kind of
buzzsaw?
laugh when they were like the opposite Darkhold book. I don't remember what anything was called. They were like, it just gives
Book
you
of
the de facto.
Shanti.
Yeah, it just gives you the de facto thing to defeat literally whatever you're looking at.
Yeah,
That's an
it just lets you
incredible
beat it.
explanation.
Yeah, it's super powerful.
What does it do? Whatever. Don't worry.
Whatever
about it.
you need it
Stop
to. Not
asking
like all this
questions.
other magic we're already doing.
Keep trying to tell you guys, a library card is the most powerful weapon in the world.
But so what I liked about the zombie bit was it was a setup and a great payoff. It's
Yes,
like
it
one of
was.
those
I love that
things where
so
you're just
much.
like, we've established
awesome.
a rule here. There is a limit. You can't go to the other dimension. You if you dream walk, there has to be another version of you. And it's just like, that was a great moment.
When he buried it, did you think that's going to come back later? Either of you?
Definitely.
I
Yeah,
thought
I was
it
like,
would
that
have
has
to,
to.
but
Yeah.
I didn't know how. Like I forgot
gun
about it.
has
It's
to come.
The gun's
perfect
got to go
setup.
off in the third act. I don't know what to tell you.
The perfect
It's a rule.
setup. So that
Yeah.
it worked really well there for me. On
When
the
he
other hand,
when he said it doesn't have to be alive, or I never
Right.
said it'd be alive, and then they start doing those quick zooms on God, I
Yeah,
cannot
that was a
remember the
delight.
last time that I was that childishly giddy in a movie
Here's-
theater. That was so dumb
That was
and weird, and
perfect.
I loved it.
here's my biggest, I think, problem with the characters aren't doing smart things anymore moment. And it goes back to Wanda. And so she's singularly focused on getting her kids back. All she wants is to be with her kids. Why doesn't she just make them again? She did it once.
Just make them again is good. Why don't you just ask? Look, I get
do it
that There's
again.
probably a lot of because she was being possessed by this devil book, and it's probably
Sure.
affecting her judgment, right? Which is
I
that's
guess.
probably why she's kind of a dick this whole time. But yeah, no, I kept kind of thinking, why don't you just ask the nice lady to send you to a different dimension, one with the kids? Why don't you
That's
use your
what I was
words
going to say is
instead
like
of-
swap
Yeah.
with a different Wanda or go hang out with a different Wanda. Just
Just show up as Aunt Wanda.
I guarantee you, if you
Wanda.
find someone else, if you find a version of you with kids and you're like, hey, do you want to go live in a universe where you don't have kids for like a week? She'll be like, yeah, dude. Oh my God. Are you kidding me? What, for free?
especially honestly
Yes.
with those two absolute losers, those
With these two-
trash can children.
This is the 20th song about food that they've sung today.
Yeah, these garbage pail kids. Any parent would be like, "Get me out of here."
Chicken nuggets, chicken nuggets. Yeah, no. No.
I would really like to hear
Mom.
the rest of that chicken nugget song.
Mom, it's really important. Mom, it's not. Narrator,
It's not
important.
important.
Billy's bleeding. No, I'm kidding. We wrote another song.
It's about pizza this
It's about pizza this time. So overall, I thought this movie was a lot of fun. Yeah, it's just the bagel bites theme. And then Wanda like imprisons them. She's like, "You didn't even make that one up. You saw it on TV.
You plagiarized.
Send this Wanda to every universe where another Wanda's about to snap and just kick one of those kids across the room." And then she tags in.
Yeah.
This is taking a turn.
It's a good cop, bad cop routine at all times.
I really like this movie a lot. It was probably the best time I've had at the movies in years at this point. And that I can only, there's an asterisk next to that because I also haven't been to many movies in years. But as a movie, it's pretty silly. As a comic book movie, it's utter perfection. It was everything I like about Sam Raimi stuff, and I was able to ignore the melodramatic, campy, over-the-topness that sometimes grates on me. Didn't bother me this time because it just all felt of a piece. So, yeah, I think overall, I really, really liked it. I don't think I'll be able to get my wife to watch it, and I don't blame her for not ever wanting to. I don't know when I'll see this again, if ever, but it was wild to see. Should we talk about the cameos briefly?
Oh my God.
The crazy character cameos. We got Black Bolt, as we mentioned, played by Anson Mount. We got Professor X.
Astonishing to me that they did that. That was so bonkers to me.
And then, so here's what I loved about it all. So we had Anson Mount as Black Bolt. We had Patrick Stewart as Professor X in his big hover chair from the comics and cartoon show.
Barca Lounger.
Lashana Lynch playing Captain Marvel. Yep. We had Haley Atwell back as Captain Carter from What If, or some version of that character. And then we had John Krasinski, the often fan-casted Mr. Fantastic, as Mr. Fantastic. And nice. It was really interesting to see all these characters on screen. It felt, at first for me, I was like, this feels a little pandery. I'm not sure how I feel about this.
Right, and then all of them got shredded by Wanda and it stopped feeling
such a great scene.
Stomped.
Was that not the raddest fight scene? Was that not the best superhero fight scene in the last 10 years?
Fantastic.
Somebody on the Looper News Slack referred to what she did to Reed Richards as pool noodling him, and it's been stuck in my brain ever since.
There you go.
It's so good.
She turned him into a Play-Doh Fun Factory.
Yeah.
That's so great.
That was such a good scene.
It was incredible, and it was. If you go back to it's like every once in a while they'll do these weird offshoot comics, like Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe, or Punisher kills the Marvel Universe, and it's always just Daffy Duck, but with blood, like levels of violence that happen. I never thought that I would see that in an actual MCU movie, but then when Black Bolt tries to talk inside his own head,
oh my God,
that was so cool.
I think the moment that got me the most is when the shield just went into Peggy's abdomen. I was like, oh my God, they are not
awesome.
Yeah, they're not.
I loved seeing Mr. Fantastic get peeled apart. It was just a great moment of like, here's your stinking cameos.
Right.
Yeah.
Here's your Mr. Fantastic.
Hope you liked them.
Hope you liked it. They all got horribly murdered, like gorily murdered.
Oh, yeah.
If you're a child in this theater, you're going home with weird thoughts.
Yeah.
And questions and tears. Yeah.
Also, another fight scene I really, really liked at the time, just because I've never seen anything quite like that, was the big music fight with the Evil
I wanted
Strange.
to talk about that.
Doctor Strange in the Fantasia-verse of 2000. Yeah, that was
awesome.
I loved that.
Wasn't sure what to think about that.
I really liked it a lot. I liked a lot of the fight scenes in this, and that one was really good because it was a magic laser fight, but with a new way of doing magic laser
really
fight.
Creative.
It was creative. It was different. It was new. Yes. Yes, Tom?
If I had to make one, I thought it was a little one note.
Ooh. I would end the conversation there, but there's one last thing I want to talk about, and it's fact the thing that bothers me the most, which is that the entire movie is resolved by a zombie giving a 15-second pep talk to America, saying basically like, I know that you haven't been able to do this thing for this whole movie.
But just go ahead and do it.
But I think you can.
Again, we're in Sam Raimi's universe at this point. Like I was there for it. It was like, what else were they? I don't know what was the other conclusion going to be besides believe in yourself and punch universes even harder than you ever have before.
It, great stuff. A little disappointing on that, but at least it was a different way to resolve things than beating someone into submission.
Can we talk about post credits? Do we want to talk about that at all?
Yeah, let's talk about the post credits a little bit.
I'm so mad I waited for that second one. I should have just left.
Come on now.
I was happy about it.
Unhelpful to me.
So our first post credit
Bruce Campbell's SAG card active. Why are you upset?
I'm not mad about Bruce Campbell. It didn't. I thought I would have to watch it for work reasons, and then I was like, I didn't have to watch it for work reasons. I could have just been outside.
You sound like the guys who were sitting next to me. They were just like, man, I wanted to see something cool at the end. The only character I really wanted to see got his head exploded. And I was like, you came here for Black Bolt? Like, what?
Who was sitting next to you?
Some guy. But yeah, the first post-credit scene was Charlize Theron playing Clea. I had to look it up because I wasn't sure. I don't think she said her name.
I wanted to ask you both to explain what this was to me.
Okay, so you know how like Batman has Batgirl and like Superman has Supergirl? Doctor Strange would have like a girl Doctor Strange, except for that women can't be doctors. So instead he has a character named Clea, who's like a girl version of that, like sort of a nurse practitioner.
I believe the niece of Dormammu. Is that right?
Is that right?
I believe so. I believe I saw that earlier.
You just insult every nurse practitioner in the world. Anyway.
Are they going to do she shows up for disappointment? No.
She shows up to tease a sequel we may never get. I love how the big price that you pay for using the Darkhold is that
more
you just
adventure.
Get a third eye.
Did not understand what the hell was going on.
Yeah, what was that?
That's
it felt like there
cost.
Were deep implications followed by zero payoff immediately.
But that's what happened in the first Doctor Strange too, where they're just like, never use this time travel magic. And then he uses the time travel magic to save the day. And then it works. There's no consequence.
And they're like, okay.
And Mordo is like, you have done something evil. I'm going to stop you and kill all the magic users. And I won't be back for the sequel quite the way
I'll say,
expect I will. Yes?
I really liked about this is that because they set that up, and that would have been the most vanilla way to do Doctor Strange 2 would just be have like Mordo versus Strange. Yeah, I loved that they just kind of implied that these other adventures have happened.
Sure,
because like it's basically already in your head, right? Like you've already essentially seen the movie where he fights Mordo because we've seen every other MCU movie. I thought that was really clever. And
I agree. But so here, will we see Doctor Strange again and Clea run around the dark dimension? Maybe. We'll see. But anyway, that's what we thought of this movie. Fun, frustrating, weird, kind of dumb, also crazy and amazing to look at. What did you guys think? Let us know in the comments. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching Everything Marvel. Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more videos about your favorite Marvel stuff is coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.